Tango Mike.
Tango Mike Station. Come back and give me about 10 seconds about your antenna system, and let me see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Okay, very good. Maybe this will help. I had the amplifier in standby. That was about 20 watts at you there. Maybe a little bit better. KC9VKV Mike 4 Tango Mike KM4TM. The name is Tom, and I'm located in Tennessee. And I was just kind of looking for some activity across the band, and I saw some signal here, and where it's pretty dead across the band. I just thought I'd give you a call. I heard you making some calls, so I just thought I'd respond to you. Name here is Tom, Tango Oscar Mike, Tom, and I'm in the central part of Tennessee near Murfreesboro. I'm about 35 miles southeast of downtown Nashville. KC9VKV KM4TM.
Roger, Tom. That's KM4TM. Is that a Roger?
That's correct. Kilo Mike 4 Tango Mike. KM4TM. Name's Tom.
Roger, Tom. And what radio are you running today?
I've got a Yaesu FTDX-101D with a Heil what is this? A PR781. Excuse me. No, it's PR780, the old PR780 Heil. And I'm running through an Elecraft KPA 1500 amplifier, and right now I'm driving it with 20 watts. I'm getting about 12 to 1300 watts out into a dipole antenna. It's cut for 75 meters, but I use it here. It's about 67 feet above the ground.
Roger, Tom. Well, if you'd be interested in a setup procedure, just double check where we are. It would be the first thing to check to be sure you're in that wide transmit bandpass, 100 to 2900. Roger.
Roger. That's exactly where I'm at.
Excellent. Then it would be to your compressor, and we recommend processor on at a 30. You can go higher than that, but what happens is it starts to suck up between words. So we suggest processor on at 30, Roger.
Roger. That's exactly where I had it set. You must be sitting here in my shack with me.
And then to your processor with mic gain in hand. And as you say the word audio, adjust your mic gain until your processor to your ALC meter is reading 7. Just audio or mic level adjustment to where your ALC meter is reading 7, Roger.
Okay, well, you got me there. My ALC scale doesn't have any numbers on it. It's just a white scale followed by a blue scale. So help me out with the 7. Where's the 7?
7 would be 2/3. 7 would be 2/3. So you've got half that ALC meter, and don't let it confuse you, because if you look at the ALC operational part of that meter, that is to one side to the other is 100% meter, and we're looking for just to the right of center. Roger.
Okay, yeah, I've got a white range, and then it turns to a blue range. The white range goes a little over half, and the blue is from that point on. So I'm supposed to be at 7 out of the white range.
Forget numbers. If you don't have numbers, don't worry about it. We're just looking for 2/3 of the meter. Your processor, your mic setup is so easy with the word audio that you can set that ALC meter right on the spot with your mic gain, and we want just 2/3 on that meter, the ALC meter. Roger?
Okay, got it. Yeah, that's just about exactly where it is.
Yes, sir. And then let's see, if you move to your equalization, make sure your mic EQ is set to on.
Roger, got that.
All right, and so that should bring up your EQ. You have a well, because you're in processor on, you'll be in the P series of equalizers, Roger.
Oh yes, yes. I've got a setting of 100 on the frequency range, and well, let's see. Let me get into it here. Hang on. The buttons don't work while it's in transmit mode, so I got to do it while it's receiving. I don't think that no, they don't. I know my frequency is set on the low end of the EQ at 100.
Yes, sir. If you could move that, that's adjustable, and we recommend we start with EQ number 1, which is your bass treble control. We suggest 200 cycles, width of 4, level -6. So that's EQ 1, the bass control, set to 200 cycles, width of 4, level -6. Roger.
Okay, is that, excuse me, is that just for any radio, or is it any particular radio, or any microphone? Or is this just a general starting point, or what are we after here?
We start with that, and I think that's going to be pretty close to what we need to do. We'll set up that way if you want, and then we'll take a listen. We're running also a spectrum analyzer on the set, so we can see your audio. But it starts with that. Your bass control with the 4, 200 cycles, level -6. Roger.
Okay, there we go. 200 cycles, level of -6, and the bandwidth at 2. The octave, 2-octave bandwidth.
Well, with the 4, do you have with the 4 there?
Oh, the bandwidth at 4. Okay, hang on, I got to fix that. Okay, there's the bandwidth at 4. That's 200, -6, and 4.
Yes, sir. Set now EQ2, which is your mid control. We want that to be off. Set it to off or flat. We want that mid range to be flat. Roger.
Okay, where I have it now is 900 hertz, -3 on the level and 1 on the bandwidth. So you're saying the level should be off?
Yes, sir. If you have an off, that's where it should be, or should be flat, plus or minus 0.
Okay, there it is. Level is off on the mid-range.
All right, sir. Then we go to number 3, EQ, which is the treble control, and you have adjustments there. You can give me a 2.7 kilohertz, width of 4, level +7. So that's 2.7 kilohertz, width of 4, level +7.
Okay, got it. 27 hertz, level 4, bandwidth 7. How's that?
Yes, sir. Let's go up to what's your top end? Do you do 15 plus 15, or I'm looking for just a little bit more top end there, maybe like 10, maybe plus 10.
Yeah, the 10 dB is the top. The bandwidth will go down, let's see, I believe it'll go down to -20, but it'll only go up to +10.
Yes, so 2.7 kilohertz with the 4, level +10, Roger?
Roger, roger, that's where it's at.
Yes, sir, and make sure that your mic EQ is set to on. Make sure that's on, and yet that you're adjusting the P-series controls, Roger?
Yes, sir. Confirmed on both counts.
All righty. Now give me about 10 seconds to tell me about your antenna system.
Okay. Antenna system is I guess on this band would be a full wave dipole, because it's a half wave on 75 meters. It's, I think, about 130, I can't remember what dimension. I think it's around 130 feet overall length. And it's fed in the center with homemade open wire line made out of 12-gauge stranded conductors, and they're separated by 4 inches. And it's in an inverted V configuration, and the high point is it's about 67 feet up on a standoff on my tower. How's that?
Yes, sir. And then there's a thing called automatic level control, automatic mic control, AMC, I believe, or ALC, not ALC, but I'm trying to find it here. Gosh, I don't see it right now. Are you familiar with what I was saying there, that automatic AMC automatic mic control?
Yes, sir. I'm very familiar with that.
Yes, sir. We want that on 65.
All right. Let me see where I'm at here. Okay, I had it on 75, and I just backed it down to 65. How's that? KM4TM.
Yes, sir. Now, just out of curiosity, and make sure we're all on the same page, I want to do something on that bass frequency just to be sure that we're in the right set of controls. So right now we have that bass EQ as 200 cycles with the 4 level -6. You can take that to like a minus 24 or something.
Okay, I'm not following there. You saying the bass EQ to minus 24?
I'm just curious if we were on the right EQ bank. So this is just a test, just to be sure I can hear that way difference. So if you could just run down to minus 24 on that bass control, I should be able to. That should really show up, Roger.
Oh, okay. Hang on just a minute. Right now, let's see, the level is at -6. So you want me to? It'll only go down to minus 20.
Yes, sir. Take her to minus 20.
All right. There's the minus 20. Level 200 minus 20 plus 4. That ought to be really high pitched.
Yes, sir. It's not really high pitched. It's just not much in the bottom end. So let's go back to minus 7. Minus 7 on that bass control. Roger?
All right. There's 200 on the frequency, minus 7 on the level, and 4 on the bandwidth. How's that?
That's good. Now, I want you to pull back 2 inches off your mic. Just about 2 inches off mic, and let me hear you.
All right, then that's about 2 inches off of where I was. So I'm about 6 inches off of the mic, which is a PR781 Heil right now. How's that?
Yes, sir. I think that sounds pretty good. Why don't you tell me in 10 seconds or so what you like about your radio, and we can get a good recording, Roger.
Okay. Well, I love I think my favorite thing about the radio is the display. Got a nice, sharp, crisp, clear, bright display. It's colorful, informative, and that's probably my favorite thing about the radio. Other things are pretty similar to the FTDX-101 that I've got sitting right next to it. And I actually switch back and forth between the two radios pretty often. As a matter of fact, just before I made contact with you this morning, I did that. I had the FTDX-101 going, and I switched back over to my 101D. I switch back and forth to them probably every 2 or 3 weeks, just for grins and giggles, no real reason. Just I like both of the radios, and I just like to switch between them there. So there you go.
Roger. And about halfway through that, I switched to my Georgia SDR, and you sound beautiful down there too. So if you'd like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2600 Qso-Vlog air check recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger? Okay, I'm making note of that as we speak here. Cut number 1 of 2600, is that what you said? And it'll be on, I didn't write fast enough, what time tomorrow can I look for it? It'll be uploaded by noon tomorrow. And I go back to that one cut up from where you were on your bass. Go back to 7, I think it was. Same, everything else the same, but just 7 instead of 8 on that bass frequency EQ. Okay, 1 minute. I got to get back to where I was. I got out of that screen here. Hang on. Okay, now you want
wanted me to go on the base level to -8 as opposed to -7.
Now, you should be in -8. We want you to go back to -7.
We want you to go back to -7.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I was on -7 on the PRMTRC EQ1 level is -7.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And a note that if you come out of the processor, these EQs will not be operable. That EQ situation will not be obtainable with the processor off. Roger.
Obtainable with the processor off. Roger.
Yes, sir. I'm aware of that. I've had this radio about 3 or 4 years now, so I'm pretty familiar with how that works. But thank you.
Yes, sir. It seems to me strange, frankly, because I think you should be where you should be all the time. I mean, if there's I don't think you should have all that control, because it's very mind-boggling, to poor him that is just starting off and is managed to get the radio of his dreams, and suddenly there are so many options that it's just mind-boggling, boggling, Roger.
Just mind-boggling, boggling, Roger.
I sure understand that, and it can be kind of confusing and a daunting task to get all those adjustments just right. And there's so many variables. It depends on the microphone you're using. It depends on the operator's voice characteristics, the acoustics in his room, in his shack, and everybody is going to have a different set point. Depending on his circumstances. There's some. I appreciate you helping me with mine. I'm kind of curious to listen to it. I don't listen to my own audio. Extremely inaccurate way of doing it. I use a second receiver, transmit very low power into a dummy load, and pick it up with a second receiver. I think that's probably a lot better way to do it, get more accurate representation. And then again, when you're listening to yourself, are you really hearing the same thing that someone else is hearing? I doubt it. What do you think about that? And I never did get your name, sir.
Name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and I just went back to my local radio 7300, and it has a spectrum analyzer tied to the audio out, and your audio is just from wall to wall, down around 25 cycles to up around 3 kc, not quite 3 kc, but very close to it. So you are definitely full range, Roger.
Oh, very good. Well, I'm proud to hear that, and I'm looking forward to hearing it myself. I've got an FT2000 Yaesu radio I have on another desk over here that with a pair of headphones, and I'll put them on and listen to myself and see what I think. So, Jim, I sure appreciate it. I don't think I've ever had another station work with me in the way you have on the transmit audio. And one thing I found out over the years about transmit audio, and I think I won't say 100% accurate statement, but I'd say it's 80 or 90%, is you can't please everybody. Everybody wants to hear something different. It seems like there's guys that like to hear more bass in audio. There's more guys that like to hear the high end in audio, and a lot of guys like to hear the mid range. And when you try to please everybody, you're in for a world of disappointment. And that's kind of what I found out. That's just personal experience. Over.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So I try not to really push a bunch of bottom end, because there's a lot of things that can happen to your audio top end as you move down the road to being received at a distant point, mainly a phase angle cancellation. Mother Nature bends part of the signal back at one place in time and bends another part of the signal back at another place in time, and then when they coincide both of them back on Earth. One is slightly out of phase with the other, and the first thing that gets canceled is the top end, and it usually works its way down the audio spectrum from the top end towards the bottom. But the first thing is that the top end of your audio gets whacked, and then if you're really hard pushed on your bass frequencies, you become Mr. Mumbles, Roger.
Bass frequencies, you become Mr. Mumbles, Roger.
Roger, Jim. Well, good deal. We all strive for good quality audio, but single sideband is meant. You're really, you're looking for communication quality audio. If you want to really have that quality audio, really have that beautiful audio that's just like BBC or Voice of America. You got to be on AM or FM. We got a wider bandwidth. The 3KC bandwidth on single sideband kind of compresses a lot of that beautiful low and beautiful high end audio that we're all looking for. So I guess that's one reason why AM is still kind of a popular mode. It's you're able to get some more frequency response in there in that wider frequency. Tim, listen, I hate to cut it short with you. I've got to go. I have a friend of mine that's getting ready to pull in the driveway here for a visit. He just called me while you were talking there, so I need to split. But it's been a pleasure talking to you. Sure have. Thank you for your assistance and your input. It's been interesting for sure. And I hope I run across you again. And the bands have been in terrible shape lately, and I've been hearing you 100%. The signal is not just extremely strong, but it's strong enough to where I can hear you just fine. And you're about the only signal I've heard of on this segment of the band for a while. So it is what it is. Mother Nature can't do anything about it. 73, Jim. We'll look for you again, and I'll look tomorrow, listen up tomorrow to get the repeat of the audio there on you say YouTube. YouTube. KC9VKV 73, and thank you. KM4TM.
Roger, Tom, 73 down towards, what's that, Nashville? You're down towards Nashville, Roger?
What's that, Nashville? You're down towards Nashville, Roger?
Yes, sir. I'm just outside of Murfreesboro, which is the next largest town if you're headed southeast of Nashville, like you're going out toward Chattanooga, but much, much closer to Nashville.
Yes, sir. As a young man of 16, I was working at a radio station there somewhere in Reno Radio. That at the time was the only music playing country music in the country music capital. All those big stations, LAC and SM, were all good music stations in the daytime. So Reno was the only one that was playing country music. And now I guess they're playing religious music, I guess, Roger?
Now I guess they're playing religious music, I guess, Roger.
Roger. Very good. Well, I've been in the Nashville area all my life. I was born and raised in the St. Thomas Hospital in downtown Nashville, and I've never ventured very far. It's where I call home, and I love it. I'm 60 years old, and I don't know if I kind of doubt I'll make another 60 years, but I'm going to make a run at it there. 73, Jim, I've got to run here. I got a friend in the driveway. He's not a ham, but if he was, I'd set him down here with us here. Thanks again, Jim. Enjoyed it. KC9VKV, KM4TM.
Roger, Tom, 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.